OK, your calls. Olympics again. Was the opening ceremony a flop? Sorry to ask the question, but some people are saying it was the worst there's ever been. 0207 862 2222. Tell us what you think. Let us start by giving you a quick run-through of what went on. So, the opening ceremony started on Friday night with over 10,000 athletes travelling on boats along the River Seine, including a recreation of the iconic Titanic scene from Team GB's Tom Daley. While they travelled along the river, a drag performance was taking place, which many viewers say resembled Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper. So you can see people going down a very long table here, and it culminated in a man painted blue being revealed under what looked like a large cloche. That part of the show has received a lot of backlash from Christians. There was then a silver horse racing along the river for a very long time. And then, shockingly, for some, the Olympic flag was hoisted upside down at an event beneath the Eiffel Tower. And this was not corrected. The South Korean team were then introduced as North Korea, but we've all done that. Actually, literally, GB did do it in 2012. It was our first mistake. Luckily, there weren't many more. Sam, what did you make of it?
I really hate to say this because obviously a lot of people worked incredibly hard on this, but I watched it unfold and thought, what is this? I couldn't make any sense of it. I think French humour and French culture, for as much as they've given the world, seemed very insular. And, you know, they should learn from the Brits. You know, events on the river just don't work. I mean, we all remember the Diamond Jubilee being washed out with that flotilla.
Yeah, but we had Beckham going down the river with a torch. That was
one
good.
Part of it.
I think the bottom line here, and it's painful to say this as a British person, is that no one will ever beat this.
James Bond.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Good evening, Your Majesty.
Yeah, so it's game over at that point, isn't it, for Olympic ceremonies? Do you think, Marina?
Sometimes when I feel down, I rewatch this sequence.
It's the greatest moment in the history of British television, without question.
And they got it so beautifully well done.
Did.
Yeah, and it'll start going downhill after that, didn't it?
Yeah.
But even that bit with, do you remember with Rowan Atkinson or Mr. Bean?
Yeah, but we didn't. You said it went downhill. I mean, in 2012, we did make a mistake because we, funnily enough, put the wrong flag up for North Korea, so they're serial offenders. But everyone said, oh, it's going to be a disaster, and then it wasn't. Yeah. It went really well.
So I personally don't care for a few mishaps like that. But I was watching, and I never watched this sort of linear TV. I'm always box sets or whatever. But I was actually quite captivated by it.
OK, you liked it, yeah.
Yeah, and I tuned in to the point where there was that catwalk going on the bridge, and I thought, oh my God, I had anxiety. Someone's going to sprain an ankle because of the puddles and stuff like that. But when you had the guy, you know, painted in Smurf blue, and the person who was dressed, with a beard and a dress, I just thought, oh, this is interesting.
Because you thought it was like a Christ-like figure, did you?
No, right. And can I just say here, this is quite embarrassing, I think, for all the people who are just coming out saying they're offended, that it's, taking the mick out of Christianity. I think they've shown themselves to be fools here, because it was never supposed to be that. It's a mimicking of a Dutch artist painting called Le Table Vivant, which is all about the Greek gods of the Olympic, celebrating the Olympics on Olympus Mountain, which makes a lot more sense.
Once the explanation's too long, by that stage,
the argument
started.
It's your fault.
Well, Susie and Bryson was watching. Susie, you're a Catholic, I gather.
Well, listen, I was watching it. I love the Olympics. And I know the rain was unfortunate, and I love the ceremony. And I live in Brighton, as you can, and it's going to be Pride weekend and what have you. So I'm a kind of live and let live person. And I said, I was watching with my autistic son, and he said, at that scene that your previous caller was just discussing, he said, Mum, isn't that meant to be is that like trying to replicate the Last Supper? I said, oh, don't be daft. It's a Catholic country, wouldn't be doing that. And then I've read the press coverage since, and I'm mildly offended, but your previous caller's explanation makes a lot more sense because in the first
Marina,
instance, I thought they won't be doing that.
No, okay, so you've come down off the window ledge now.
Yeah, I definitely think so. But there's one bigger problem I had, and I know this is but I've just told you I'm a live and let live person.
Yes.
Listen, this is one of the reasons this Olympic Games is so great. Is for the first time we've got 50% female participation. 50% of the athletes are women.
Right.
And who did the French have as their flag bearers?
Was it Snoop Dogg?
The French.
The French? No, I don't know. You tell me.
There was the male athlete and the women in female drag.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's a really toxic subject.
Do you mean they had a trans athlete? Forgive me, I didn't see that part of it. Salma, do you know what we're talking about here?
No, I didn't.
Do you know?
I didn't
We
see
don't
that
know what you're
part.
talking about, Susie. You're going to have to help us. Don't do it as a question.
No,
Do it as a statement.
Because I didn't see it 100%, but I've seen it on line since.
Yes.
And it's just really offensive that the male, the poster male athlete from Team France is alongside a drag artiste when all
see.
the other countries are doing a male and a female.
OK, can't comment, but thank you. Michael in Dover, hi.
Hello.
Was it a disaster or was it quite good?
Unprecedented. So, in every aspect, France presented a chaotic shambles. They missed the traditional stadium atmospheric cheers when the teams are led by their flag bearers into the stadium for their big entrance to the event.
Yeah.
France let down the competitors, the fans, and the Olympic movement in general.
All right, Michael, thank you. Obviously, quite 50-50 on that. You can't win, can you? You've got to be in the stadium, you've got to be outside the stadium.
I think there was a really important point there, which is that there are the traditions and the functions of the way people expect the Olympics to unfold, right? And that's what people were expecting. And I get that Paris wanted to showcase Paris and, go down the river, but it was a bit too avant-garde, I think, even for the French. It was a bit over the top.